Hola! What is the best way to make money? Well, typically it's to understand the trends in business. As they say in the stock market, the trend is your friend. Well, in this video, I want to talk about a trend that I see only accelerating, and that is companies in California, typically tech companies, moving their headquarters out of state to other places with better taxes and some would argue politics. Well, in this video, we'll be talking about how Facebook is starting to expand in Austin at a dramatic rate, and I view that as them laying the groundwork for them to be able to eventually move their headquarters from California to Austin. And that would be following the likes of Elon Musk, who's moved Tesla out, Larry Ellison, who moved Oracle out, and there's such a massive tech presence here already, and in the last year, headquarters shifting, it's really gonna make the economy boom even more. Real estate prices go up through the roof even more, which is good and bad, but it's really a trend that is not gonna stop in my opinion. So go ahead, smash that like button. It's important to look at this video to understand what's happening in Austin, what's happening in technology, and what the big thinkers and leaders of tech are looking to do in the next few years so that we can capitalize on that. If they see a trend, we should pay attention and see how can we capitalize off of their efforts. For instance, do you want to be in real estate here in Austin? Do you want to come out and be a part of the community of entrepreneurs and the capital and the VCs looking to start companies out here? Or do you want to work for these companies? There's a lot of opportunity out here, and there's a lot of great reasons why the companies would come here in the first place. Great tech talent, lower cost of labor and capital, no state income tax, things like that, and a really cool culture. And I did something special as well. Since I'm here in Austin, I took footage of the building that is currently under construction to see how massive of a presence Facebook will have. So go ahead, smash that like button, and let's get started. All right, let's take a look and see what Bloomberg has to say. Facebook's Meta expands in Texas with a major office lease. The company has leased half of what will be Austin's tallest skyscraper, making the social media giant the latest major business to expand in the state. Meta is leasing 589,000 square feet across 33 floors, a spokesperson said Sunday, confirming an early report from the Austin Business Journal. It will account for the entire commercial half of a 66-story tower under construction in the heart of Austin's downtown area. That's phrased funny, isn't it? It will account for the entire commercial half. It's like 50% of the time, it works every time. Anyway, we first came to Austin over 10 years ago with just 7 employees. Now over 2,000 of us are proud to call Austin home. Catherine Shapley, the head of Meta's Austin office, said in a statement, committed to Austin, looking forward to growing here together. Meta is seeking to hire 400 more people in the area and will have the capacity, along with other space in the region, for many more, the company said. The tower known as 6th and Guadalupe is scheduled to open in 2023. It's an original name. Just put the address as the name and let's move on. Texas has been on an economic tear as businesses seek to expand into lower-cost locales amid a broader shift to remote work that accelerated with the global pandemic. Samsung Electronics announced a massive new chip plant for Taylor, Texas, in Austin's northeast suburban fringe in November. A month earlier, Elon Musk's Tesla said it would move its headquarters to Austin from Palo Alto, and Oracle transferred its main office from Silicon Valley to Austin in 2020. Now, I just want to show you one more quick article, a few more details before we get into some interesting footage. This is from ATX Today. Facebook's parent company Meta signs historical lease in Austin. And here's a picture of what the rendering of it looks like completed when it's done. Looks like an interesting building. I like the mirror part. The part at the very top looks kind of like, I don't know, almost like a parking structure. So we'll see. But standing at 873 feet high, 6th and Guadalupe will be the tallest building in Austin once it's completed, of course. Now, we know what the metaverse is at this point in this channel. Some of the specifics, though, of the lease: 589,000 square feet, we know that, and that takes up 33 floors of a 66-floor tower. My bet is that Facebook will eventually lease the rest. You know, if they're looking to expand and call it maybe their corporate headquarters eventually, that's probably a move they'll make. The lease was signed on December 31st. That's a big celebration for that real estate team. Good job, guys. And it's the second largest single office lease in the history of downtown Austin. Very cool. Construction on the building is planned to wrap up in 2023. So in conjunction with them expanding their presence here, I think it's going to really spark a real estate arms race. You know, Google is already in Austin, and they have plans to expand even more. They're also just a few blocks away from when that 6th and Guadalupe location is. And they've already committed to expanding further. So they have offices at 100 Congress Avenue, 901 East 5th Street, and 500 West 2nd Street. And together that's 550,000 square feet of office space for Google in Austin. Now the company plans to add to that by leasing the entire Block 185 development currently under construction located at 601 West 2nd Street. And that's going to add 750,000 square feet. So when you look at this, it's basically all systems go for tech workers in Austin. And here's a fun thought experiment. If the lease is for 589,000 square feet, and that's just half the building, even if they were to take the rest of the 66 stories, that's just under 1.2 million square feet, which is massive. But how does that compare to Facebook's actual headquarters in Menlo Park, California? Well, in their 2021 annual report, right at the top under properties, it says our corporate headquarters are located in Menlo Park. As of December 31st, 2020, we owned and leased approximately 10 million square feet of office and building space for our corporate headquarters and in the surrounding areas, and approximately 90 acres of land to be developed to accommodate anticipated future growth. Now, a quick note then, if they're looking to have anticipated future growth in California, you may be asking, why is that really proof that they're going to move their headquarters to Austin, Texas by leasing barely 10% of that, or actually 5% of that, and even if they expand, it's only 10. Well, I don't think you need to actually have an equal or bigger physical presence to have your headquarters domiciled somewhere. It's more of a legal thing. And you got to make sure that there's enough of a critical mass of employees so you can have the CEO, the C-suite, and the board, maybe not the board, but the top executives and managers and a decent stack of their teams, maybe they're in person, but in a remote distributed world, that becomes less and less important. Even in 2010, I worked for a company called ACOM. When I was in executive compensation. And that was a big Fortune 500 global architecture and engineering firm. And they had a CEO in New York, even though they were based in LA. So it's totally possible to have things switched around in whatever way that is most cost advantageous. And that's why I still hold the theory or the prediction that Facebook will move its corporate headquarters to Austin. So the building is generally being constructed on 6th and Guadalupe, and this is the intersection. And here's the sign of 6th and Guadalupe. And here's the actual building from across the street. You can see our perspective where that sign was, and it's much busier normally. And here from across the street, we see the total size and scale and height of the building under construction. And by my estimation, this building is only about 27 of the 66 floors completed, based on my expert counting skills. And here we see from the side what the building looks like. Typical standard construction, looks like an office, but then suddenly we realize this is party central. So, what do you guys think? Is there going to be a strategic move on Facebook's part to actually change their headquarters from California to Austin, Texas? Or is this merely an expansion of office space in Austin because of the hot talent and tech market that is kind of ablaze across the nation, but specifically in this city as well? So many other companies here, so many great people here with great talents that they want to be able to have the capacity and space to bring them aboard to advance their metaverse dreams. So let me know what you think in the comments. Smash that like button, consider subscribing. It's been so fun, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.